Hi again, my name is Ross and welcome back to our cryptocurrency educational channel, FIRL Crypto. FIRL stands for Finance in Real Life. Now, when I first started teaching about crypto, the number one question I got was, "Hey Ross, when to buy? Buy now? Buy yesterday? Buy later? When? I find this question very stressful because none of us can predict the market with 100% accuracy. So, instead, I prefer to use the most stress-free investing strategy there is. It's known as DCA, Dollar Cost Average. What is it? How does it work? Well, by the end of this video, all your questions will be answered. By the way, we've also just launched our first free ebook. That's right, it's completely free! Now, if you're new to the world of cryptocurrency, and it can be very confusing at times. What is Bitcoin lah? What is this? What is that? Well, that's why I created this simple free ebook for you to understand better. All you need to do is to download right now at the link provided in the description below, and I honestly believe it's going to bring you a lot of value. Now, a quick disclaimer before we go any further. I'm not a financial advisor and nothing I say in this video constitutes financial advice. I'm just a passionate educator and my job here is to explain things better so that you can make better decisions. So don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our latest content. Dollar cost averaging. This method of investing is very straightforward and it can be applied to basically any kind of investment. All you need to do is to buy cryptocurrency in equal amounts consistently over time. Let me give you an example. Let's say we take two people, John and Bob. Both of them have 1,200 ringgit and they want to invest in Bitcoin. Now, John invests all 1,200 ringgit in Bitcoin on the 1st of January 2021. This is also called a lump sum investment, right? When you put all your money in one shot. Bob, on the other hand, doesn't want to do that. He wants to use the DCA method. So he invests only 100 ringgit into Bitcoin on the first day of every month in 2021. So he will need to buy 100 ringgit, 100 ringgit, 100 ringgit consistently for 12 months. This is called the dollar cost averaging method. But what's the point of doing this? Isn't it very troublesome to invest every single month? Why not just buy one shot? Easier, right? Well, you see, the biggest benefit of using DCA is that it helps to reduce something known as timing risk. Now, what is timing risk? You see, because cryptocurrency is such a volatile market, right? It's very hard to predict when will it go up or when will it go down, right? But, think about it. What if you buy today and then tomorrow it loses 30% value? Ooh, that's very stressful. In fact, it actually happened to a friend of mine. This is a true story. He invested 40,000 ringgit into Bitcoin in a lump sum, and then the market just dropped in value. Unfortunately, he was making a paper loss of 10,000 ringgit, and then he panicked and he sold all his Bitcoin at a loss. Wow, very pain to hear. By the way, the term paper loss means a loss that hasn't been realized yet. For example, when you buy Bitcoin and the price of your Bitcoin drops, as long as you don't sell, you haven't actually realized the loss, right? The loss is just numbers that you can see on the screen, hence paper loss. You can think of it as a difference between the current price and the purchase price. But coming back to my friend's story, can you see the mistake he made? He went into Bitcoin using the lump sum method without really understanding how volatile the market is. Because of that, unfortunately, he lost a lot of money when he panicked and he sold. Instead, I believe if he had used the DCA method, he could have bought maybe 1,000 ringgit every month instead of all 40,000 at one go. That way, even if the price of Bitcoin drops, he won't be losing all his money at one shot, and he'll definitely be a lot less stressed. Talking about stress, I really like the DCA method because I believe it helps to reduce stress, right? The world we live in is already so stressful. Why do you want to add more stress to it? Now, one of the alternative investing strategies out there is called active trading. It's kind of the opposite of DCA. This involves an investor constantly looking at the charts and the numbers going up and down and trying to predict when to go in and buy and also when to exit and sell. The aim is, of course, to buy low when it's cheap and sell high when it's more expensive so that you can make a profit. But if you're a beginner to crypto, and most of us make the mistake as well of buying high and then selling low because we panic and sell, and I used to make that mistake a lot. Reading the charts is very stressful and it's not as easy as people think. It requires discipline and skill to be able to predict prices. Now, if you can pull it off, great! But if you can't, then my advice to you as a beginner is to stick to the DCA method. Like I said, life is already very stressful, and if DCA can help remove some of that stress, I see that as an absolute win. Alright, would you guys like to see the DCA method in action? Let me show you a live demonstration. Now, there's a handy little website that I found called dcabtc.com. And what it can help you do is to calculate if you had used DCA to buy Bitcoin over time. Let's say you invested $100 worth of Bitcoin over here under the purchase amount, and you did this every month, right? So you repeated this on a monthly basis. And let's say you did it for the past 3 years. So let's choose accumulate for 3 years, starting 3 years ago. And let's look at our profits, right? So you would have invested a total of $3,600, but at today's market value, about $6,000 worth, and making a profit of 371%. Isn't that amazing? But now that this looks really good, let's compare it, in fact, against other assets. What if gold or perhaps the US stock market did better? Well, we can do that as well. It says compare against other assets. I click yes. And it's going to compare against gold, right? If I had invested the same amount of money in gold, today it would be worth only about $4,496 and only a 24.91% profit, right? On the other hand, if I invested in the DJI, which is the US stock market, right, the Dow Jones Index rather, I would have made 27% profit, right? So it's still profitable, but Bitcoin, as you can see, if I had used DCA, would have gotten me much more profit. Now, let's compare this with the story that I talked about earlier, right? Remember about the story of John and Bob, right? John used the method of lump sum investment where he put in all his money in one shot. Bob invested his money over time. So let's say Bob did a $100 investment monthly, but instead of 3 years, Bob only started investing from the beginning of this year. So let's give him about 6 months ago. Do you think Bob made money? Well, as we can see here, his total invested amount would have been $600, currently worth $588. So he was actually making a loss of negative 1.92%. Isn't that a bit of a surprise? Early on, we saw that it was profitable, but remember, profitable over 3 years' time. In sometimes the short term, especially in a volatile market, the DCA method may produce lower returns. Now, let's actually compare this with other assets. And let's see, compared to gold, there was a 3.12% increase. Compared to the DJI, there was a 6.31% increase, right? So in this case, just looking at this over 6 months, Bitcoin performed the worst compared to these other two asset classes, right? This is why we usually advise people to use DCA over a long time period, where it helps to smoothen out all the ups and downs. And if we compare it with John, when John invested, right, from the beginning of the year, let's say January 2021, all his money at one shot, he would actually be making a profit of approximately about 20% in the market, right? So sometimes, as I mentioned earlier, DCA may not give you the highest returns. If you know how to time the market and you're lucky, you may actually get higher returns, especially in a volatile market. So now let's recap what we've learned about DCA. DCA stands for dollar cost averaging. It means investing in equal amounts consistently over time. Secondly, the advantages of DCA are that it reduces timing risk over the long term, and it's a lot less stressful than active trading. Thirdly, the disadvantages of using DCA is that sometimes you will lose out on high gains in a volatile market. And although it's nice to see how well DCA works in the past, it cannot really predict the future. So there's never a 100% guarantee that it always works on crypto. That being said, the DCA method has stood the test of time across various investment options, and personally, I have found it to be a very robust method of investing, which removes the stress and allows me to focus on other important things in life as well. In fact, If you're interested in investing in cryptocurrency using the DCA method, you can do it very easily on LUNO. If you haven't got your LUNO account yet, what are you waiting for? It's the best crypto app in Malaysia. Download it now and don't forget to use our promo code CDR3Q after you verify your identity. Make sure you key in the promo code before you make your first deposit and buy. Once that's done, when you click the buy option, you will notice the words once off and repeat buy underneath it. Choose the repeat buy if you want to do the DCA method. Why? Because repeat buy allows you to automatically buy crypto in the LUNO app on a daily, weekly or monthly basis. However, do note that buying using the standard screen on LUNO incurs a 2% fee for every purchase. If you want to reduce that fee, you can buy manually every month, every day or every week using the exchange screen. Once again, a quick disclaimer that nothing in this video should be taken as financial advice. You are responsible for your own financial choices. At FIRL Crypto, we seek to educate you about cryptocurrency so that you can make more informed decisions. Do help us out by liking, commenting and subscribing, and to stay up to date with all our educational videos on cryptocurrency. Remember to follow our social media links below to receive updates as well.